So she was watching it.
No, sweet.
I didn't see her stuff. They didn't send me a message that she was wanting to do such.
They're gonna send me over, brother.
Okay. Let me get to where she can talk, so she can comment on the things that respond to the questions and so forth. Send this to the kids.
After these, I gotta get going because I gotta do the sample for the tea. For today's event, my mom is not home.
Get the trenching that thing out.
Look at Lavender. Put my feet like that. How did I get so lucky being your mama, Lavender? No. Huh. Hope it's not.
Let me send it out to the kids. Send the text, dude.
It wasn't. I sent you a screenshot of the blood work. It's not letting me send it to you. But so you could share with her the flower essence.
Yeah,
What is it?
let me send it to the skin.
Alright, maybe my mom will send it.
Luckily, the devil is fucking.
And then get in touch with that lady, Sarah or something. She won't.
Yeah, that's the sister that was with Cole.
Oh, I think she had her own Facebook.
It's the sister that's been commenting and liking and saying stuff on your teas and everything. I'm sure. I see that puts the face to the reality person that you've met in the. Yes, sir. Just so that you know.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It wasn't me, it was you. You said you had a dream.
Yeah. There's more to that dream. It's crazy. She was coming here and I was freaking out in the sense of like not wanting to be judged.
Please do not let me send this to Zeke. full bars. Turn
Stay. I'm coming back.
that off. What is the hell? You haven't blocked me this bad. Let me send you off the signal. This is crazy. They're not letting me get the signal to them. Oh, yeah.
He's so pretty. Did you go in your pool today? Did you go in the water? You have your fresh pool your papa did for you. Did you go in the water? Go play, honey. Go play, baby. It's perfect time. I promise I'm gonna take you one more time swimming, okay?
Oh, no.
Y'all niggas can't stop my shine. Y'all niggas can't block my grind. Y'all niggas must be out y'all mind. Y'all niggas know I stay with my kind. Y'all niggas can't stop my shine. Get money. Get money.
I don't understand. Watch the video on the Sub-Urban channel. Journal writing. No later than poem that I wrote for many years ago. Years ago.
Good morning. We're doing live non-locality geomorphic scan. We're going to start by setting the description for our session. It's going to be up to the aim to be achieved. For our witness and session open to receive truth.
We're going to be dowsing as well. These are the crystals and plasma.
And we're going to start by doing our intake clearance. I'm going to explain here and throughout this scan how the amplitude reading reads and how to interpret it as we generate by dowsing the amplitudes. In this case, that is a positive tuning. We're going to refer to as positive tunings and negative tunings. The positive tunings you might see in the description that are the ones that before the tuning, they have a positive sign to them. Also, we can refer to as positive connotation tunings. The positive tunings, we're going to start at 100, and we're going to go lower with the amplitude reading and modulation. Me as an operator, I designate a 20 point threshold. So if any of the readings, positive tuning readings, give us 80 to 100, we're still going to record them, but they may be the ones that not need immediate attention.
But they
as
do
it
in
goes.
the sense of, we have found that anything within that percentage, 20%, it is able to be seen by allopathic medicine practices or modalities, or in the sense even if it is above 80 or 85 or 86 or 87, meaning that that's only at 14% in the negative, if you wish to say, away from 100% of totality in the positive tunings, because these are positive tunings. There's also negative tunings, so it would be 0 up to 100. And that same threshold applies to where if it was at 14 in a negative tuning, allopathic meds would be able to see it in X-ray, CAT-scan, CT, urine test, or bacterial test, or a blood test, so on and so forth. So that's what she's describing. What we found from doing this for years and having people express that their doctor was able to find it. And then once you get above 20, in that sense, you yourself would start feeling the metastasization or the growth or whatever was shown, or imbalance mentally, physically, spiritually.
What they call the symptoms. So in a negative tuning, if it's past the threshold in the amplitude modulation that we find is if it's above 20, particularly over 30, 35, to those symptoms, you may have already embodied them. You may have feelings to it. And that is what it's measurable through Western medicine, that it's easier to detect.
This is a diagnosis, because things can be changed, timelines and so forth with life, or all just magnetic resonance.
We are measuring probabilities, so the intention of this session is not to diagnose, but to bring awareness and understanding of the possibilities and probabilities that are in the forefront, and how to work with those. As Ezekiel is mentioning, this is part 1 of the scan.
It's not just showing you what comes up, but your body, through your intrinsics, information or knowledge or data is what we scan and what we communicate with. So what is shown can also be reversed, if you wish to say, or annealed, where that sickness goes away. The modalities you can do just on the simple form of aromatics or vibrational medicines, or smelling a color or a certain flower essence and so forth, is a remedy to anneal what is being shown, where those numbers either climb to 100 or go to 0.
And so, just as an example of what we were referring to previously as negative tunings, you can see in all of these tunings, they don't have a positive sign on the left side of the tuning, which means they're negative tunings. In this case, in the intake clearances, we're measuring interferences. These are all negative. As I go from 0, optimally, we would want this.
Pretty high.
We would want these interferences to be below 5. Otherwise, we would rearrange our equipment and do some more clearing on our side. And understanding, we can also see in the barriers to report. So as I was referring to, this is a part 1 of the session where we generate a report, an understanding of what is going on in the probabilities, and then in the part 2 we have the ability to send the balance, annealing all of those probabilities and cancel the ones that are negative tunings are expressing themselves, and bring higher the ones that are positive tunings that need a bit of reinforcement. So all of these are negative tunings. They're reading below 5. We can proceed with the session. And here is positive tuning, general vitality. We would want general vitality of our witness to be a rating closer to 100. I'm going to douse and generate the amplitude reading.
Which is done by a galvanic response, where you get a stick like dowsing or doing fun.
In this case, general vitality is giving us a reading of 70.7.
Myself, I'm doing a douse with her using a optical quartz that I cut 51 degrees by 51 minutes by 51 seconds. Same as a Fogel crystal, they're called Marcel Fogel. You get the same response and are able to see and channel.
If you're wondering, for general vitality, there's a lot of things that encompass that and make that amplitude reading show as it does. In this case, it's giving us a 70.7. We're gonna, once we pass the intake clearances, we're gonna look further exactly into everything that all the amplitude readings that make that read as such, the general vitality, and look in depth into
from your minerals to your spiritual, from the third density body as you see it solid, the flesh, into the spiritual to the actual thoughts that are going into your head, create and nullify those. It's a conscious interactive, so we're going to consciously interact with you. The speech that I'm giving is that which is the operator's understanding.
We are going to save the intake clearances, and now we're going to start into our software. The first program, these are all my programs. The first program that we're going to be looking into is in the etheric fields of the biofield system. We're first going to take an amplitude reading of the biofield system as a whole. This is a positive tuning. As you can see, biofield system, positive tuning. We're going to start by 100. The biofield system is giving us a reading of 65.5. As we access the biofield system, we're going to start by scanning the subtle bodies. Previous to that, all of these are going to be positive tunings. Again, as you can see, they have a positive next to their tuning. We're going to start by scanning the sodium chloride balance. Sodium chloride balance is part of what allows us to create a connection with the chelonic fields and for all of these subtle bodies to communicate among each other. The importance of that. In this case, the sodium chloride balance is giving us a reading.
That only has to do with the sodium chloride. For actuality, kids. Everything that is in this that responds to the ping like an open port on a computer is what responds in every single different frequency. The sodium chloride has nothing to do with anything for the septonic field being able to be resonanced. Every one of these word tunings comes and is a equation, as a frequency, as a numerical value through tetranegation and gamation. And when you douse anything, like from the mineral content to the bulk mineral that comes into your body, each individual one of those has nothing to do with the salt. But yet, in the body is salt, because the body turns it into salt, but it also has the ionic form and also the bulk metal that people wear. And when you douse, you connect to each one of the things that you're looking at or is being shown to you different from each, or they're their own separate frequency that is being sent to you and refracted, like a bat, if you wish to say.
Acid and alkaline balance as a positive tuning started from 100 is giving us a reading of 68.5. So that's below our threshold of 80 that we have set. The first subtle body we're going to scan is physical vitality. And
what Mom had stated to you about the sodium chloride for the body, that is completely correct in everything that is needed. Yet, on the other, each one of the things that are being doused are separate from themselves. Because we're not doing radionics or radiesthesia. That's that form of dowsing. We're connecting with the intrinsic fields, while you don't have to think to breathe.
Physical vitality as a positive tuning study at 100 is giving us a reading of 47.8. That's way below our threshold. We're further going to look in the scan to see exactly what is creating the imbalances in this field and subtle body. So far, physical vitality 47.8, etheric vitality 63.3, emotional vitality 60.2, and mental vitality 57.4. So this is going to give us an average overall vitality of 59.8. I'm going to save that and show you here real quick on the tunings. So if we see the two subtle bodies most affected are the physical vitality and mental vitality, followed by the emotional vitality and etheric vitality. So now we going back to the biofield system, and we're gonna do a quick scan through the programs and see where are we taken to bring our attention to, as it be shown in the subtle bodies. Again, when you see me going down through these tunings or descriptions, as you can see on the screen, I'm doing what it's called a quick scan. And I'm getting a galvanic response in spiritual imbalance. This is a negative tuning. So you see in the tuning, it doesn't have a positive sign to it, negative connotation, spiritual imbalance. We're going to start from 0 and measure how high is the probability of that there being a spiritual imbalance. $34.9, 35. That is above our threshold of 20 points. Therefore, it's bringing us our attention to the sub-program and particular tuning of the spiritual imbalance. I'm going to go on. I'm also getting a galvanic response in ego block, another negative tuning. And this is giving us a negative tuning amplitude reading of 45. Again, it's above our threshold, past the 20 points, and pretty high of a probability. When I put add, what I'm doing is recording, creating the report of that reading to then go back in. We can review the report together, and it can also be shared and sent to our witness. We're back into the sub-programs and getting a galvanic response in energy centers, chakras. So we're going to go into the chakras, and we're going to start by scanning the crown center. Crown center is a positive tuning. We start at 100. And it's giving us a reading of 65.7. As you may know, for every energy center, there is a gland that correlates to it. In this case, for the crown center, it is the pineal gland. Also, we follow with the brow center, the third eye, positive tuning. And it's giving us a reading of 62.3. Also below our threshold of 80, meaning both of these centers so far are showing that it require attention to them, bring them back to balance, feed them energetically so they can properly feed energetically themselves to these glands that correlate with them and all of your biological functions that depend of these centers being in balance. And so for the brow center, the third eye, commonly known as the third eye, the gland that correlates with it is the pituitary gland, which is a major center of secretion of hormones, which if there's any hormonal imbalance or anything further on, we also look into in the scan. So far, we're in the chakras or energy centers. Pinpointing where imbalances can be rooted at from the bigger picture to the smaller details. So the third energy center or chakra we're going to scan, it's going to be the throat center, and it's a positive tuning. We're going to start at 100, and the throat center is giving us a reading of 56.6. Again, it's below our threshold, and it's below 60s as well. The throat center is the center that correlates with the thyroid and parathyroid glands. Fourth center is going to be the heart center. Positive tuning, starting at 100. We're generating the amplitude reading by dowsing. And the heart center is giving us a reading of 53.9. For the heart center, it correlates with the thymus gland, partially responsible of immune system. As you may know, not to be redundant, but I'm sure part of our witnesses know that for every energy center, they don't only correlate to a particular gland in the physical body, but also there's concepts attached to them. So for the crown center, the quick review for the crown center, it's a correlation with the pineal gland, but also it's attached to the concepts of spirituality. For the third eye is your inner truth and center of judgment, as well as the throat chakra for communication, speaking your truth inwardly and outwardly. For the heart chakra is the center of self-love and self-worth and unity and connection with everything that comes with creation, from creation itself. For the solar plexus, which is the chakra we're scanning now, is your willpower center and decision making, and it correlates with Your digestive system has a positive tuning, is giving us a reading of 59.1. Again, all of these are positive tunings. We would ideally want them closer to 100. And the next energy center or chakra we're scanning is the sacral plexus. The sacral plexus is giving us a rating of 66.7. The sacral chakra is the center of expression and the center where we co-create in the tapestry of life our form of expression in co-creating, and it correlates with reproductive organs. A 66.7 is the amplitude reading, and the base center, which also known as root center, root chakra, is giving us a rating of 61.9. And this center is the foundation of trust with creation itself, and that translates with our personal relationships. Trusting, also knowing that all of your basic needs are taken care of. And that center, the root center, it correlates with the adrenal gland. And also there's a correlation with bones and muscles in the body. This is 62 as an amplitude reading. So we're going to record that. I'm going to keep on doing a quick scan through the rest of the tunings. I'm getting a galvanic response in aura disturbance. This is a negative tuning. We would want it to be closer to 0. And it's giving us a reading of 30.8 as a negative tuning is past our threshold of 20. So we're going to record that aura disturbance at 30.8. We're going to measure negative influences. .4 as a negative tuning, and aura as a positive tuning. It's giving us an overall rating of 66.5. That's a positive tuning. We would want it closer to 100. So again, we are creating the report, and then in the second part of the session, we have the ability to send balance to bring all of these readings closer to 100, the ones that need to be closer to 100, and cancel or nullify the ones that are needing to be closer to 0 and they're expressing themselves above the threshold. So we're going to keep on doing the quick scan here in the sub-program of the biofield system. And we get a galvanic response in balancing opposite meridians. So we're going to go into the system and we're going to look into what meridians would need attention and balancing. Spleen, triple warmer meridian, positive tuning. .3, so it's below our threshold of 80. We're going to save that. Spleen, triple warmer meridian. governor meridian and conception meridian. Giving us a reading of 47.9 as a positive tuning. Getting spleen and pancreas meridian, balancing opposite meridians, 58.7 as a positive tuning. Spleen and pancreas meridians. We also have the ability, so as you can see,
Instead of texting me, witness, watch the video. I can't respond to you if it's a blind test. So I sent you that message to let you know that we were doing the scan. Please watch the scan. You're tagged in it, as you see.
It'll be great to have our witness tune in and we get some feedback too from the scan.
Otherwise, you'll have to see when it's done, and I'll send it to you in text.
So here we're back. We also have, like I was mentioning, we also, if there's any particular meridian, here is by the opposites. Every meridian also has like a one that pairs with it. But if there's any particular meridian that needs stimulation, and we can scan that particular meridian and the points of that meridian, so our witness can do acupressure, acupuncture, or boximust at home.
Or tap, traditional acupressure with finger, or with burning, with just different fragrances, or
Palo
light
Santo.
pins, or Palo Santo, or clove, such things that keep a nice burn at the end of it, where you can do the infrared treatment above those focal points.
And the pericardial meridian is giving us a reading of 56.2. As you can see, it says tuning 0.6 and 7 of the pericardial meridian. And the last few, conception vessel meridian, 0.10. $56.7. All of these are positive tunings. We are recording them here in our report. Governing conception meridian is giving us a reading of 47.9.
They have the radar going today. You hear that, man?
Following, so we just scan the biofield system opposite meridians. We're going to see if there is balancing opposite meridians. We're going to see if there's anything to look into elemental energy subprogram. And here we have the elemental energies. I'm getting a galvanic response in elemental energies release negative blocks centrally. This is positive tuning. $56.3. Getting a stick in space, elemental energies space. positive tuning, 59.7, elemental energies air, positive tuning, 58.3, prana obstruction, negative tuning, elemental energies started from 0. Prana obstruction is reading at 31.4. Miasma flow, 36.2 as a negative tuning. Again, as a different tuning, prana obstruction. 28.9. So that is all for the biofield system. Now we're going to go down and do a quick scan and see, out of all the systems that you can see here, we got psychological system, cellular system, nutritional metabolic, endocrine system, neurological system, hematologic system, immune, ophthalmological system. Out of all these systems, it doesn't mean, particularly for this session, for our witness to achieve optimal well-being, it doesn't mean that we have to look into all of them, nor that there might not be more than it's pointed out in this session. But we're going to be shown of the ones that don't meet the threshold of 80 as a positive tuning and above 20 as a negative tuning, of the probabilities of how high those tunings are. So, as I mentioned before, I'm going to do a quick scan through all these systems. I am getting a galvanic response in neurological system, positive tuning, the system as a whole is giving us a reading of 46.7. We're going to go into the system. Again, in the subprograms, we're going to do a quick scan and look exactly where we need to, in what direction we need to be scanning in, and particularly what tunings are pertinent for this moment in time. Neurological system, brain imbalances, uncontrolled desire to sleep, unrefreshing sleep, negative tuning, high probability of 32.9, again, unrefreshing sleep, 35.1 as a high probability in a negative tuning, fatigue, negative tuning, brain imbalances, uncontrolled desire to sleep. Again, we're scanning the neurological system. Fatigue is giving us a reading of 41.6 as a negative tuning, above our threshold of 20. Another negative tuning, uncontrolled desire to sleep, at 41.4. Negative tuning, sleeping sickness, 34.4. And as you can see, as I go down through the other tunings and I do a quick scan through them, you're going to see them light up, but that doesn't mean that they're all pertinent to this scan. So I only go in and measure and create the reading from the ones that I get a galvanic response in. We're getting a sticking recharge as a positive tuning. $58. Stimulate brain. Negative tuning, 33. Reserve energy as a positive tuning. $59.8. Again, we're still in the neurological system. And negative tuning toxins, brain imbalances, uncontrolled desire to sleep toxins, giving us a reading of 47.8. Mental fog, 34.8 as a negative tuning too. So that is for neurological system, brain imbalances, uncontrolled desire to sleep. I'm going to keep on this system, but go through a quick scan. I get a stick in nerve structure and function, cranial, and these are positive tunings. So I'm going to do a quick scan through these as well. I get a stick in facial, positive tuning. We're in the neurological system, nerve structure and function, cranial. Positive tuning is giving us a reading of 50.2. Olfactory, positive tuning, 49.5. That's for the sense of smell. Positive tuning at 49.5.
olfactory nerve. Notice that just for smelling.
Still neurological system, nerve structure and functioning constricts nerves of spine, throat, and we're missing the rest of the description. As a positive tuning is giving us a reading of 46.9.
OC 43. The minerals that have been lacking were stripped, and olfactory nerves and nerve functions that have been tapped.
And the last one, I'm getting a stick on it. Auditory nerve,
OC 43.
positive tuning, 49.4. So that is for nerve structure and function, cranial. And I'm going to finish doing the quick scan through the whole system. Okay. So now we save that. We're going to go back to doing the quick scan throughout all the systems. That was the neurological system. And we get a stick in immune system. Immune system as a whole is giving us a reading of 40.1. This is a positive tuning. We would want it closer to 100. It's below our threshold by 40 points at 40.1. Now we're going to look into the immune system itself. Immune system response. Positive tunings. Getting stick in non-allergic reaction. Positive tuning. 58. Immune imbalances number 2. Negative. I'm getting a stick in cancer toxins. That is as an immune imbalance response. Description, cancer toxins, negative tuning. At 44.3 as a negative tuning, we would want it closer to 100. That is a high probability on cancer toxins. We're going to look further into that.
Want it closer to 0.
Again, I'm doing a quick scan here through the system. It's immune system responses number 2.
Transcript these cells. T lymphocytes.
And I'm getting a galvanic response in carcinoma on the thymus gland. As a negative tuning, we would want this reading to be closer to 0. And this is reading at 46.5. General toxins, immune imbalances at 43.6 as a negative tuning. I am getting a sticking, produces cancer, immune imbalances, negative tuning. That's 47.1. And the last stick or galvanic response that I get is for toxic rate disease, immune imbalances as a negative tuning. $56.9 as a negative tuning. So we're going to record that for the report and finish going through the system, immune structure and function. These are the parts that make the immune system, as it indicates immune structure and function. We are going to go through the quick scan through all of these parts and understand which of these may need some balancing. I'm getting a stick on T lymphocytes, immune structure and function. That's 45.9 as a positive tuning. We would want this reading to be closer to 100. I'm getting a stick in humoral anti-agents and antibodies. Again, a positive tuning as part of the immune structure and function, giving us a reading of 53.5. And interferon, positive tuning. We would want it closer to 100, and it's giving us a reading of 58. So we're going to save that. We're going to go out of the immune system. I am getting a stick on otorhinolaryngologic system, ears, nose, and throat. As a whole, this system it's giving us a reading of 58.3. This is a positive tuning. I have getting a response in nose imbalances. These are negative tunings because they're all imbalances, potential imbalances within the otorhinolaryngologic system, particularly on the nose. So I'm going to do a quick scan here, going down through the systems. I get a scan, a stick, galvanic response, with whooping cough as a negative tuning. We would want it closer to 0. And it's giving us a reading of 33.9. Also getting a stick on gumata, nose imbalances. At 38.6 as a negative tuning. I also got a galvanic response in sinusitis. Can you say that, please? Sinusitis. Negative tuning of 41.8. And cold. Nose imbalances, cold. Negative tuning at 43.3. I'm gonna keep on going down through this whole system in quick scanning. Got itchy, nose imbalances, itchy nose. Negative tuning as a 28. Sneezing, negative tuning, nose imbalances. Scanning the otorhinolaryngologic system. Sneezing at 32.4. But again, from what we have scanned, it shown that it was a non-allergic response. So I'm scanning through, doing a quick scan, this whole system. Nose imbalances. I'm getting a stick on watery and mucus nose imbalances. Negative tuning. 27.9. Negative tuning bronchitis. Nose imbalances. That's a pretty high probability of 51.8 as a negative tuning. Bronchitis. Okay. So that is for nose imbalances in the otorhinolaryngological system. We're going to move forward with the scan and go ahead and scan the rest of the system. throat imbalances, whooping cough, (33.1) as a negative tuning. I get a galvanic response in throat imbalances, strep. At 43.8, and then we're going to further look into infectious energies and scan for probability of whether it is a bacterial agent or a virus and exactly what genus it is. But here we are in the otorhinolaryngological system, doing a quick scan in throat imbalances, coughs, (39.2) as a negative tuning. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for your kind comments. And yes, we should scan you soon. Thank you for staying live with us and witnessing. I love that you're sharing with your friends too. So we're back here at throat imbalances, going through the whole system, doing a quick scan. I have airway obstruction, as a negative tuning at 41.8. And this is the last of the tunings. Again, airway obstruction, 36.2. So that is for throat imbalances, and we're going to finish scanning the rest of what makes the otorhinolaryngological system, and is tonsils. I get a galvanic response. These are all positive tunings. And I get a stick on right tonsil. Again, this is a positive tuning. It working, the right tonsil working and being in perfect balance would be closer to 100 or at least 280. And in this case, we're measuring probability and how imbalanced it is. The right tonsil, it's giving us a reading of 41.7. And we're going to go back and scan the left tonsil too to get an idea, since there's two. The left tonsil is giving us a reading of 68.6. So we're going to save that, and we're going to measure both tonsils. So we're back. Sorry about that. Hope you catch the comparison between the right tonsil and the left tonsil. We are again in the otorhinolaryngological system. The right tonsil had given us a reading of 47 point something, and the left tonsil was at 75. And now I'm measuring both tonsils at 63.1. So we're going to record that, and we're going to go back to the system and finish scanning through. I don't get a galvanic response, so we're going to go back to all of the systems. Looking further Okay, bear with me here for a second. I just got to use the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you all for staying tuned. We're going to follow through by scanning, doing a quick scan through the rest of the systems. We have just done the otorhinolaryngological system. Got a pretty good idea of the ear imbalances, nose imbalances, and throat imbalances going on with our witness. And now I get a galvanic response in pulmonary, lungs, and bronchi. As a positive tuning is giving us a reading on its whole is 54.8. That is below our threshold. Now we're going to look into the system and see particularly what requires attention. Lung and bronchi imbalances. I get a sticking shortness of breath as a negative tuning. 37.9. Also acute respiratory distress as a negative tuning, high probability at 44.8. And again, this concept comes up as strep, lung and bronchi imbalances, as a negative tuning with a high probability of 48.2. Get a galvanic response in respiratory virus, 48.5. Going through and doing a quick scan. And I get a galvanic response in chest, cold, and cough. Negative tuning, high probability at 40.9. We're going to keep on going down. I got bronchial irritation. As if you remember when we were scanning, immune responses, also bronchitis had come up. Negative tuning, bronchial irritation, 41.3. I'm also getting a stick or galvanic response in bronchoconstriction, lung and bronchi imbalances, the negative tuning at 41.3. Chest condition, negative tuning at 42.7. Those are pretty high probabilities with the threshold that we've set at 20. I also get a galvanic response in phlegm, negative tuning, lung and bronchi imbalances at 44.2. And one more time in this other tuning of phlegm as well, at 45.3. So we're gonna record that, save it for our report, scan these two one more time, and that's for the pulmonary system. Okay, we're gonna go through all of the systems and finish. I am getting galvanic response in infectious subtle energies. So we're gonna go in that system. These are all negative tunings. Infectious disorder, fevers, 27.1 as a negative tuning. Infectious disorder, infection as a negative tuning of 42.3. Also getting a galvanic response in congestion, mucous membrane irritants, .29, I am getting a galvanic response in tumors. We're going to scan through the system. Tumor fibrosis, negative tuning, and it's giving us a reading of 43.3. Also getting a galvanic response in cystic tumor, at 40.5 as a negative tuning. And polyps, negative tuning, 48.2. I'm getting a galvanic response in tumors, benign, infectious subtle energies as a negative tuning, 45.1. And we're going to finish scanning the system, and that's it for that. And we're going to go out of this system and look into what it's causing all of that, in those imbalances on the nose and the ears and the bronchi and the pulmonary system, whether it is bacterial or viral. I'm getting a stick on viral. And I'm getting a stick on viral, inflammatory, enteroviral. Negative tuning as 43.3. And respiratory virus, influenzas, respiratory viral disease, negative tuning as 51.3. These are all negative tunings.
OC43 is influenza. The Spanish flu. The shot. The jab.
Chest conditions.
OC43.
Respiratory virus, influenza. Doing a quick scan through this whole system.
Maria had a show that she had to do tonight. She would did a complete scan. I need Mom to reach out. Give us confirmation on things so that we can
Upper
look deeper into
respiratory infection. 38.4 as a negative tuning. And systemic viral, system-wide. And I'm getting systemic viral disease. .2 as a negative tuning. So I'm going to go down and finish up the scan with this quick scan going through herbs suggested for wetness.
why state it's not an elixir in vibrational medicine in Kelia, because there's no plant bulk. It's the essence of the flower, its spirit, its vibrational essence and means, like Krillin photography shows.
Antitussive, cough relieving agent.
It is sent through scalar wave, but also imbued into the water, or it is the same as if the water was
Black
made,
gauche.
but even stronger and being made with the bulk. It's a signatory frequency.
Medicine suggested from self to self to help relieve potential symptoms. Going through quick scan. This classification of herbs. This is for a bronchodilatator, enlargers of bronchial tubes, belladonna. And no worries if you don't have access to these medicines in the bulk form or the physical form, because in the part 2 of this modality, when we send you the balance, we will be sending you these medicines as well. With the other tunings that we have recorded in our report. And we also have the ability to replicate these medicines and send you a package if you would like to take them, as well as complementing with the balancing. sleep-inducing agent, passion flower, $59.7. Okay, and flower essences for the psychological, I am getting a stick on bloodroot. Again, like I was saying before, we have the ability to create an elixir by replicating this medicine and facilitating it to you, sending it in a form of elixir, and you can take it with the dropper. Vibrational medicine, yes. By looking at the benefits of bloodroot as a flower essence for the psychological body, it says it helps you to open to and heal karmic relationships with your family and your community. The bloodroot flower essence helps you open to a deep willingness to work with and heal the karmic relationships within your soul group or family. What in past incarnations we have done to other souls and what they have done to us is reflected in our present life. Family members, co-workers, bosses, people you love, and those who are adversaries in this life have incarnated with you here to take up their karmic roles as you take up yours. Bloodroot essence can help you more clearly understand your current situation and the players around you. It does this by rooting you in a deep and eternal flow of love and reverence for all people and all life. Once you feel the flow and strength of this energy, your ability to transcend self-interest in relationships and to harness the power of free will to heal all karmic patterns can be achieved. Healing relationships within your blood or soul families is perhaps one of the most important assignments you have in this life. The willingness to transform deeply held beliefs, feelings, and responses to release karma to a higher order of forgiveness can be aided by use of the bloodroot essence. This is a powerful essence for family groups to take together, as it can help the members begin to recognize each other and embrace their joint healing mission compassionately. So that is the flower essence that is suggested from self to self. And we're going to save that. And if anything, I'm just going to finish doing the quick scan through the rest of the systems. Again, as I believe Isidro had mentioned, if there's any particular interest in looking into anything, if you'd like further information or confirmation of anything that you would like us to scan, we would love to do that. and I get a galvanic response in toxicity, intrinsic data fields, meridian point swelling, toxicity, as a negative tuning at 34.5. And that's it for that program. Balance meridians, and I get a galvanic response in spleen and pancreas meridians, 48.8. Conception meridian, 51. Stomach pericardium meridian, 36.6. To finish the scan, we can look into nutrition and metabolic system. So, as a system on its whole, nutrition and metabolic system has given us a rating of 55.9. And minerals, I'm getting a galvanic response. Potential mineral deficiencies, copper, we would want it closer to 100 as a positive tuning, and it's reading 59.5.
Carbon,
Cobalt,
lithium, selenium.
at 60.
That influenza or COVID or OC43 strip the body of, used to destroy, take over consciousness.
Carbon,
Proliferate to contagion host, viral load.
at 64.6. And I'm getting a stick on mineral imbalances as a negative tuning of 44.4. Mineral deficiency 52.5. This can be addressed by taking in different dry fruits like figs and dates that are loaded with minerals and replenish the minerals in that way. Also, we can replicate and do vibrational medicine and send the elixirs to you to take this. And looking into different herbs that are loaded with these minerals that may help replenish as well. Selenium, which is part of the immune system. It's giving us a rating of 48.5 as a positive tuning that shows a deficiency, potential deficiency in that mineral. Lithium, a very important mineral that plays a role in our mental cognition, mental fogginess, and mind chatter and mood, among other things. Lithium, as a positive tuning, is giving us a rating of 48.7. And potassium bromide, it's giving us a rating of 60.3. Can I get the water, honey, please? Yeah. And shall we look into any other systems? Hormonal?
Like Zeke was pointing out, the mood balancing thing.
We can look into the endocrine system, being that when we had scanned the crown chakra and third eye, they were both below our threshold. If I'm correct, we were here. I'm gonna save that. We're gonna go to endocrine system. Measure the endocrine system as a whole. The endocrine system is giving us a reading of 62.2. We can go into the endocrine system and see what is that attributed to. And get hormonal imbalances. And these are the potential reasons: secretion imbalance, metabolic imbalance, inflammation of glands, hormonal imbalance, enzyme imbalance. We're going to do a quick scan to see. I get enzyme imbalance. As a negative tuning of 46.4. So we can go back to the endocrine system as a whole and scan through the different glands, structures and functions. I get a galvanic response in pituitary imbalances. And pituitary disorders, negative tuning at 43.3. We can look into the pituitary gland. Pituitary structure and function. And I get a galvanic response in parathyrotropic, pituitary structure and function. And corticotrophin, ACTH, pituitary structure and function. $64.3.
COVID is a stealth-adapted virus. Why John Martin talks with me about things. I've studied that stuff most of my life. Same as sarcoidosis. Things that are able to pass the blood-brain barrier, but also pass through sperm and our sex organs of male and female. Mycoplasms.
Okay.
Bacteriophages.
And to finish scanning the whole endocrine system.
Those things that can inhibit and take over and use to attack a full autonomous self-organizing system. Be it they or themselves.
I get a galvanic response in thymus imbalances.
It's like AIDS epidemic that's still going on.
As a negative tuning, thymus imbalances, endocrine system cancer is giving me a reading of 54.7. And immune deficiency also as a negative tuning is giving me a reading of 44.8. And the last one in the glands of the endocrine system is the adrenal gland and is giving me a galvanic response. So we're going to look into it. And hyperfunction of the adrenal gland, adrenal imbalances as a negative tuning is giving us a rating of 43.4. And that's it for the endocrine system. I hope this is of great help and offers an insight in your health. And thank you for letting us facilitate this information. Please reach out. We would love to continue this conversation and help you in any further information that you might be seeking or you'd like to understand in depth. Love and light.
Love and light. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
We have other work to do that we have to do today. Love and light to y'all.